Hey there, welcome back to The Whispering Scientist. Before we drift into infinity's gentle mystery, I'd love to know where are you from and what time is it there? Drop a comment and let me know. Now let's begin this gentle journey together. Or if you listen closely tonight, there's a soft thread weaving through the darkness, a universe's endless whisper that has been calling to curious minds since the first human looked up at stars that seemed to go on forever. This whisper isn't urgent or demanding. It flows like a distant hum beneath everything you know, as steady as nature's gentle breath, as patient as the tide's eternal rhythm against a quiet shore. What exactly is infinity? It sounds simple, doesn't it? Just a word we use to describe things that seem to go on, like counting numbers or gazing into the night sky. But the answer would gently transform how you see the world. Not with sudden revelation, but with a slow, soft unfolding. The way morning light gradually reveals a landscape that was always there. Waiting in the darkness, you've already encountered infinity more times than you might realize. Remember those childhood moments lying in bed, trying to count to the highest number possible? Your sleepy mind climbing an endless staircase of numbers? Or standing between two mirrors, watching your reflection stretch into a tunnel of light that never quite ends, each image smaller and softer, but never disappearing completely. These glimpses weren't accidents. They were infinity's gentle invitations, quiet moments, when the boundless nature of existence whispered, "Hello." Here's where it gets beautifully interesting, like watching a quiet dance unfold between the finite and the infinite. Infinity isn't actually a number at all, not something waiting patiently at the end of some cosmic counting session. It's more like a direction, a quality of endlessness that touches everything around us. When mathematicians write about infinity, they're not trying to count to it. They're describing the gentle truth that some things simply have no end, no final boundary, no last page in their story. Think of walking across a room. Ancient philosophers realized something remarkable. To reach your destination, you must first travel halfway there, then halfway again, then halfway of what remains. Each step requires navigating an infinite number of smaller steps, yet somehow your body solves this puzzle effortlessly, naturally, every moment of every day. You dance with infinity without even knowing it, like breathing or dreaming. The universe's endless whisper grows clearer now as we settle deeper into understanding. Picture yourself standing at the edge of a calm ocean at twilight, watching waves roll in with perfect rhythm. Each wave carries whispers from distant shores you'll never see, part of an unending conversation between water and wind that has played for millions of years. That gentle, persistent sound, that sense of something vast and patient and eternal, that's what infinity feels like when you first encounter it properly. But just when you think you understand, nature reveals another tender layer. There isn't just one infinity. Even in this first gentle meeting, mathematicians have discovered different kinds of endlessness. Some infinities are like stories that keep turning pages forever, what we call potential infinity. Others are like completed libraries containing every possible book, sitting serenely all at once, what we call actual infinity. Both exist in their own quiet way, neither competing nor contradicting, simply offering different perspectives on the boundless. The coastline of any country demonstrates infinity's playful nature. Measured roughly, it might be a few thousand miles long. But look closer, measuring every tiny inlet and bay, and it grows longer. Closer still, tracing every pebble and grain of sand, and the measurement stretches toward endlessness. The line remains the same, but infinity hides in the details, patient and persistent. Like a cosmic joke told with perfect timing, as we breathe slowly together, let infinity become like a soft blanket for your thoughts. You don't need to grasp it completely tonight. You just need to let its whisper settle into your mind, a gentle reminder that some truths are too beautiful to be contained by ordinary thinking. They require a different kind of understanding, one that feels more like remembering than learning, more like coming home than discovering something foreign. And as this first gentle exploration draws to a close, the universe's endless whisper carries us naturally forward. Next, we'll drift back through time to meet the ancient minds who first heard these cosmic murmurs, who sat by firelight wondering about the boundless, their calm speculation reaching across centuries to touch our understanding tonight. The whisper we've just begun to hear tonight has been calling to human minds for thousands of years, drifting like smoke from ancient campfires where our ancestors sat beneath star-filled skies, wondering about the endless. These early listeners didn't have our modern mathematics or sophisticated instruments, but they possessed something equally precious, the quiet courage to sit with mystery, to let their thoughts wander into the boundless without needing immediate answers. Picture a Greek philosopher named Zeno walking slowly through an olive grove around 450 BCE, his sandals creating a gentle rhythm against sun-warmed stone. The universe's endless whisper had reached his ears through a simple observation about motion, about the strange dance between movement and stillness. He noticed that to walk from one tree to another, he must first travel halfway, then half of the remaining distance, then half again. His mind, patient as morning mist, realized this created an infinite series of smaller journeys, each one necessary, each one real. But here's the gentle secret that connects everything, a soft thread weaving through time. Zeno's paradox wasn't meant to prove that motion was impossible. It was his way of listening to infinity's whisper, of showing how the boundless hides within the most ordinary experiences, like campfire stories of forever passed from elder to child. His paradox carried a deeper truth about reality's infinite layers, each one discoverable through patient contemplation. Across the ancient world, in the quiet monasteries and meditation halls of the East, other listeners were hearing the same cosmic murmur through different ears. Buddhist and Hindu philosophers spoke of samsara, the endless cycle of existence, not as a burden, but as a gentle truth about the nature of being. They described time not as a straight line, but as a great wheel, turning slowly through cycles of creation and dissolution, each rotation lasting millions of years, yet feeling as natural as breathing. In ancient China, Taoist sages like Zhuangzi told stories that still whisper to us across centuries. He spoke of a man who dreams he is a butterfly, floating peacefully through a garden, then wakes, wondering if he might be a butterfly dreaming of being human. This wasn't philosophical confusion, but a gentle recognition that identity itself might be infinite, flowing like water between different forms, never quite contained by any single definition. Here's where it gets beautifully interesting, like watching a quiet dance unfold between cultures and centuries. Medieval Islamic mathematicians like al-Khwarizmi and Ibn al-Haytham worked with infinite series, not as mathematical problems to be solved, but as prayers written in numbers, ways of approaching the divine through patient calculation and quiet contemplation. They preserved and expanded Greek wisdom while adding their own gentle insights, creating bridges of understanding that would carry infinity's whisper into the Renaissance. In medieval Europe, Thomas Aquinas sat in candle-lit chambers, his quill moving slowly across parchment as he contemplated God's infinity. He didn't try to measure or contain it, but instead described it as pure actuality, complete perfection existing beyond time and space. His words flowed like gentle water, carrying the understanding that some truths are too vast for finite minds to hold completely, yet somehow we can touch them, briefly, like fingers trailing through starlight. The whisper grew clearer during the Renaissance when Galileo pointed his telescope toward Jupiter's moons, watching them dance in their eternal orbits. He realized that the universe might be far larger than anyone had imagined, perhaps infinite in scope, filled with countless worlds spinning through darkness. But rather than feeling overwhelmed, he described a sense of profound peace, as if the cosmos had revealed its gentle secret, that vastness and intimacy could coexist, that infinite space could somehow feel like home. What strikes me most beautifully about these ancient listeners is how they approached infinity not as a mathematical challenge, but as a source of comfort. They understood instinctively what modern minds sometimes forget, that the boundless isn't meant to be conquered or fully comprehended, but simply appreciated. Like watching sunset colors fade into night, knowing the beauty exists whether we can name all its hues or not. As we breathe together in this moment, we're part of that same ancient conversation, the same gentle wondering that has connected curious minds across cultures and centuries. The whisper that reached Zeno in his olive grove, that touched Aquinas in his monastery cell, that guided Galileo's telescope toward distant moons, is the same soft voice we're learning to hear tonight. And just when you think you understand how these ancient minds approached the infinite, nature reveals another tender layer. Ahead lies a remarkable secret that would revolutionize how we think about the boundless forever, discovered by a gentle mathematician who dared to count the uncountable and measure the immeasurable, the remarkable secret that would transform our understanding of infinity forever emerged not from ancient temples or Renaissance observatories, but from the quiet study of a gentle German mathematician named Georg Cantor. Working by lamplight in the late 1800s, the universe's endless whisper had been calling to him through a question so simple it seemed almost childlike. If all infinities stretch on forever, are they all the same size, or might some be larger than others? Like comparing the patient vastness of a river to the boundless expanse of an ocean. Picture Cantor sitting in his peaceful sanctuary, his pen moving slowly across paper as he contemplated something that would have delighted the ancient philosophers we met earlier. He began with the counting numbers that had fascinated human minds since childhood. 1, 2, 3, 4. That familiar staircase climbing endlessly into mathematical twilight. But here's what will quietly amaze you. Cantor discovered he could match every single counting number with every even number, creating perfect pairs that stretched into infinity without ever running out of partners. This gentle realization unfolded like layers of silk, each revelation softer and more surprising than the last. 1 pairs with 2, 2 pairs with 4, 3 pairs with 6, and this elegant dance continues forever, never missing a step, never leaving anyone behind. At first glance, this seemed impossible. Surely there are twice as many counting numbers as even numbers. But the pairing works with mathematical poetry, revealing that these two infinities are actually the same size, like two endless melodies played in perfect harmony. Here's where it gets beautifully interesting, like watching a quiet dance unfold between order and mystery. Cantor realized that some infinities could be counted in a sense, not because you could actually finish counting them, but because you could imagine a systematic way to visit every member, like following a gentle path through an infinite garden where you know you'll eventually reach every flower, even if the journey never ends. He called these countable infinities, and they include not just the natural numbers, but also the integers stretching in both directions, and even all the fractions scattered like stars between whole numbers. But then, in a moment as soft yet thunderous as distant thunder over calm water, the whisper deepened into something profound. When Cantor turned his attention to the real numbers, all those decimal points stretching endlessly between 0 and 1, he discovered something extraordinary. No matter how cleverly he tried to arrange them in a list, no matter what system he devised, there were always more numbers hiding in the spaces between, like trying to catch every grain of sand on an endless beach with a single, patient hand, and, just when you think you understand, nature reveals another tender layer. Cantor proved this using what we now call the diagonal argument, a proof so elegant It feels like a cosmic poem written in numbers. Imagine any list of decimal numbers, however infinite it might be. Cantor showed that you could always create a new number by walking down the diagonal of your list, changing each digit you encounter, creating a number that differs from every single number on your infinite list. This new number proves that your list, however vast, was not vast enough. This discovery was like nested Russian dolls of wonder, but opening in reverse, each layer revealing not something smaller, but something more abundant, more continuous, more mysteriously infinite. The real numbers form what Cantor called an uncountable infinity, genuinely larger than the countable infinity of natural numbers, like comparing a gentle river to the vast ocean it flows toward. The universe's quiet heartbeat sounded clearer in that moment of understanding. There are different sizes of infinity, not just one overwhelming concept, but an infinite hierarchy of endlessness, each level more vast than the last. The countable infinity of natural numbers, which Cantor named Aleph Null, coexists peacefully with the larger infinity of real numbers, which in turn rests comfortably beside even vaster infinities, all part of the same cosmic symphony playing in different keys. What makes this discovery so profoundly comforting is how it transforms infinity from a single, intimidating mystery into a landscape of infinite diversity. Before Cantor, the boundless seemed like something to approach with caution. After his gentle revelations, infinity became a realm where there's always something larger waiting to be discovered, always another level of mystery offering its quiet invitation to wonder, like finding that your favorite lullaby has harmonies you'd never noticed before. As we breathe slowly together, let Cantor's gift settle into your thoughts like gentle cascading revelations. You don't need to grasp every mathematical detail tonight. You just need to feel the profound peace of knowing that even infinity has infinite depth, that no matter how much we understand about the boundless, there's always more mystery waiting, patient and kind, like an endless library where every book opens to 10 more stories worth exploring in dreams. This gentle transformation of infinity from overwhelming concept into infinite landscape of wonders brings us naturally toward our next quiet discovery, where we'll feel how these different sizes of infinity whisper through the elegant language of mathematics itself, shaping the graceful equations and tender limits that describe our world with such beautiful precision. The infinite landscape that Cantor revealed to us becomes the gentle foundation upon which mathematics builds its most elegant conversations, a soft dialogue between the finite world we touch and the boundless realm that embraces it. As we settle deeper into this understanding, we discover that infinity doesn't merely exist as an abstract wonder. It whispers through every equation, every curve, every graceful calculation that describes the patterns flowing around us like a cosmic lullaby. Picture yourself standing where a calm river meets the vast ocean, that tender boundary where the measurable meets the immeasurable. This is where calculus was born. In the patient minds of Newton and Leibniz, who realized that to understand motion, change, and growth, they needed to invite infinity to become their gentle partner in mathematical exploration. They discovered that by allowing time and space to become infinitely small, they could finally understand how planets trace their serene orbits, how flowers unfold in perfect spirals, how water finds its way around smooth stones with such natural grace. The universe's endless whisper reveals itself most clearly through what mathematicians call limits, those tender moments when numbers approach a destination without ever quite arriving, like a quiet boat drifting toward a distant, misty shore. The boat draws closer and closer, the details becoming clearer with each gentle wave, but the journey itself becomes the essence, this patient, unending approach that holds more beauty than any final arrival ever could. Consider the simple expression 1 divided by x, as x grows larger and larger toward infinity. The result grows smaller and smaller, approaching zero with infinite patience, never quite touching but always moving closer. Like watching a sunset that seems to last forever, while knowing it must eventually fade into peaceful night. This gentle approach, this mathematical embrace of almost but not quite, becomes the foundation for understanding change itself. Here's where it gets beautifully interesting. Like watching numbers' gentle dance unfold between precision and mystery. When we calculate the area under a curve, we're essentially asking infinity to help us measure something that seems impossible to measure directly. We divide the space beneath the curve into countless thin rectangles, each one narrower than the last. And as their width approaches zero, that tender limit we just discovered, their sum approaches the exact area we're seeking. It's as if infinity offers us a gift, perfect accuracy through infinitely patient approximation. This mathematical waltz creates derivatives and integrals, those elegant tools that emerge from infinity's gentle guidance. A derivative measures how quickly something changes at a single instant, born from the limit of smaller and smaller time intervals, like capturing the precise speed of a runner, not over a minute or a second, but at one perfect heartbeat of time. An integral accumulates infinite thin slices to find total areas and volumes, like raindrops eventually forming a calm, deep pool through countless individual contributions. The whisper grows clearer as we encounter asymptotes, those mysterious, invisible lines that functions approach but never touch. Picture the curve I equals 1 over x, forever drawing closer to both axes as it stretches toward infinity, like a gentle dance partner who maintains perfect distance without ever stepping away. These boundaries exist only in the realm of the infinite, yet they guide finite functions with remarkable precision, like guardrails made of starlight directing mathematical traffic through cosmic intersections. Perhaps most wonderfully, we discover that the curious equality where 0.999 equals exactly 1 as we add 0.9, then 0.99, then 0.999. Each step brings us closer to 1 with mathematical certainty. The infinite decimal doesn't approximate 1, it is 1, revealed through the gentle magic of limit. This shows us that infinity doesn't create chaos in mathematics, it creates deeper truth, more profound connections than finite thinking alone could ever discover. What makes this mathematical embrace of infinity so profoundly comforting is how it transforms abstract concepts into tools for understanding everyday beauty. When engineers design bridges that span rivers with perfect strength, they're using calculus to listen to infinity's advice about stress and curves. When artists create flowing computer graphics, they're applying infinite series to approximate smooth surfaces. The boundless realm that once seemed distant becomes intimate and practical, like a trusted friend helping us solve problems with cosmic wisdom as we breathe slowly together. Let this mathematical poetry settle into your thoughts like equations' soft embrace. You don't need to memorize formulas or perform calculations tonight. You just need to feel how infinity weaves through mathematics like a gentle current, making it possible to describe change, growth, and beauty with precision that touches something divine, like discovering your favorite melody was composed in the universe's own endless whisper. This gentle revelation of infinity as mathematics foundational voice carries us naturally toward our next quiet discovery, where we'll explore how these mathematical conversations bloom into the most beautiful patterns in nature, infinite processes that create finite wonders, like fractals dancing in the space between order and dreams. The mathematical conversations we've been listening to suddenly bloom into visible poetry as infinity reveals its most enchanting secret, how endless processes can create the most delicate, finite patterns imaginable. Like watching a master weaver work with threads that stretch beyond the horizon, we discover that nature uses infinite repetition to craft snowflakes, coastlines, and the branching networks of rivers with a precision that makes the heart quietly sing. Picture the simplest of these symphonies, a geometric series that feels like a familiar bedtime rhythm. 1/2, plus 1/4, plus 1/8, plus 1/16, each term a smaller echo of the one before, like waves arriving with softer and softer voices. Add them together, patiently, kindly, and something remarkable happens. Though we're adding infinitely many numbers, the sum approaches exactly 1. This is infinity performing a kind of stellar meditation, an endless task that nonetheless yields a complete, finite answer. Like filling a glass with drops that become ever more delicate, yet somehow the glass becomes perfectly full. Here's where it gets beautifully interesting, like watching nature's endless quilts unfold before your eyes. This same principle of infinite processes creating finite beauty shapes the fractals that surround us everywhere. A fern frond unfurling slowly in morning light demonstrates this infinite self-similarity with perfect grace. Each small leaflet looks remarkably like a miniature version of the entire frond itself. The delicate geometry of a snowflake reveals 6-sided symmetries that branch and divide and branch again, each subdivision following the same gentle rules, yet every flake becoming utterly unique through infinite variation. The universe's endless whisper has been teaching these patterns to emerge from the simplest mathematical conversation. The Mandelbrot set, born from the equation that takes a number, squares it, adds the original number, then repeats this process forever, creates boundaries of infinite complexity. What sounds like mathematical routine becomes recursive lullabies of visual beauty, patterns that zoom infinitely inward, revealing new details at every scale like branching dreams that never lose their melody. Coastlines share this fractal nature, their boundaries becoming infinitely complex as we measure them more precisely. From space, Britain's coast appears as a smooth curve. Closer examination reveals bays and peninsulas. Closer still shows rocky inlets and tidal pools. At the scale of individual pebbles and grains of sand, the measurement approaches infinity, yet the coastline remains beautifully contained, a finite boundary with infinite detail, like a cosmic joke told with perfect timing. The golden ratio emerges through similar infinite iteration, as the Fibonacci sequence creates a ratio that approaches 1.618 through endless patient calculation. This number whispers through sunflower seed spirals, nautilus shells, and galaxy arms, infinity's signature written in the architecture of growth itself. Each flower, each shell carries the memory of infinite mathematical conversation, like nature's gentle dishwasher cleaning the universe with recursive beauty. Rivers demonstrate infinity's artistry through their branching networks, following optimization principles that create the most efficient paths from mountain to sea. Each tributary splits into smaller streams which divide into creeks, which separate into rivulets, all following the same mathematical rules at every scale. The entire watershed becomes a fractal tree laid flat across the landscape, carrying water through infinite subdivisions that somehow create perfect unity of purpose. Even the functions that describe our world emerge from infinite processes. The exponential function unfurls from adding infinitely many terms, 1 plus x squared over 2 plus x cubed over 6, the rhythm steady and breathable. The cosine that echoes in pendulums and tides expands the same way, with alternating signs that balance like slow, even steps. These are nature's quiet algorithms, older than our species, written in the universe's patient language. What makes these infinite processes so profoundly comforting is how they reveal order within apparent chaos, meaning within complexity. Stock market fluctuations follow fractal patterns. Cloud formations obey scaling laws. Even human heartbeats contain infinite variability within healthy boundaries. Infinity doesn't create confusion in nature. It creates resilience, adaptability, and beauty that remains beautiful at every level of examination. As we breathe slowly together, Let these infinite patterns settle into your thoughts like nature's sandpaper, gently smoothing the rough edges of mathematical anxiety. You don't need to calculate fractals or measure coastlines tonight. You just need to feel how infinity expresses itself through endless repetition of simple rules, creating complexity that feels both mysterious and familiar, like recognizing a distant relative in the face of every snowflake, every spiral galaxy turning slowly in the cosmic night. This gentle recognition of infinity's artistic signature in natural patterns carries us naturally toward our next quiet revelation, where we'll discover how these same infinite processes create paradoxes that seem to bend reality's rules, yet somehow reveal deeper truths about the playful, flexible nature of existence itself. The infinite patterns we've been admiring in nature's delicate fractals and converging series suddenly reveal their most playful secret as infinity begins to bend the familiar rules of reality with gentle mischief, creating paradoxes that feel like dream logic unfolding in the quiet spaces between sleeping and waking. These aren't mathematical errors or cosmic mistakes, but rather infinity's way of showing us that the universe operates with a flexibility far more wonderful than our everyday experience might suggest. Like discovering that the solid ground beneath our feet is actually dancing to a rhythm we'd never noticed before. Picture yourself approaching a peculiar hotel that stretches infinitely into the misty distance, its rooms numbered 1, 2, 3, continuing forever without end, like a gentle procession of lights disappearing into cosmic twilight. This is Hilbert's Hotel, and tonight every single room cradles a peaceful guest in slumber. Then, unexpectedly, a weary traveller arrives seeking rest. In any ordinary establishment, the desk clerk would apologetically explain that full means full, no exceptions. But here, infinity whispers a different solution with cosmic hospitality that feels like magic wrapped in mathematics. The clerk simply asks every guest to drift from their current room to the next numbered space. The dreamer in room 1 floats to room 2. The sleeper in room 2 moves to room 3, and so on down the infinite corridor. Everyone shifts one space forward in this gentle procession, like a slow dance of accommodation, and magically room 1 opens like a flower for the new arrival. Every original guest still has their peaceful sanctuary. The newcomer finds comfort, and the hotel remains completely full, yet somehow more spacious than before. Here's where it gets beautifully interesting, like watching gentle illusions dancing before your drowsy eyes. What happens when an infinite bus arrives carrying infinitely many travelers seeking rest? The solution unfolds like silk in moonlight. Ask every current guest to move to the room with twice their current number. The guest in room 1 drifts to room 2, room 2 flows to room 4, room 3 settles into room 6. This creates infinite vacancy in all the odd-numbered rooms, 1, 3, 5, 7, perfect accommodation for the infinite bus passengers, yet everyone still has a place to rest peacefully. Infinity plus infinity somehow equals infinity, like adding starlight to an already infinite sky. The universe's endless whisper playfully bends our understanding further through Gabriel's horn, a shape that emerges from rotating a simple mathematical curve around an axis, like spinning a gentle trumpet into existence. This celestial instrument has infinite surface area. You could never finish painting its exterior, no matter how much paint flowed from your brush, yet it contains only a finite volume of space inside, like a cosmic cup that holds exactly one measure of liquid. Reality's soft flexibility reveals itself. You could fill Gabriel's horn completely with paint from within, but you couldn't use that same paint to cover its endless surface. Infinity creates a gentle contradiction that somehow makes perfect sense within its own patient logic, like a riddle told by starlight. Even more wonderfully mysterious is how infinity transforms arithmetic itself, into something dreamlike and fluid. The Banach-Tarski paradox whispers that a perfect sphere can be divided into a finite number of pieces and reassembled into two identical spheres, each complete and whole. This isn't sleight of hand, but rigorous mathematics, though the pieces involved are so intricate, so infinitely complex, that they exist only in pure mathematical space, like shadows cast by geometric forms that live in dimensions beyond our gentle perception. When dealing with infinite quantities, the familiar rules of addition become beautifully flexible. Infinity plus 1 equals infinity. Infinity plus infinity still equals infinity. These aren't errors, but the consistent, gentle rules that govern the realm of the boundless, like discovering that some cosmic scales are so vast that adding to them creates no measurable change. The way a single raindrop doesn't alter the ocean's depth. What makes these paradoxes so profoundly comforting rather than disturbing is how they show us that the universe operates with far more creativity and playfulness than we might expect. They're not problems to be solved, but invitations to expand our sense of what's possible, like discovering that the rigid walls of logic are actually made of something more flexible, more willing to accommodate wonder than we'd previously imagined. The ancient philosophers we met earlier would have smiled at these gentle contradictions, recognizing them as extensions of their patient observations about the mysterious relationship between finite steps and infinite journeys. As we breathe slowly together, let these paradoxes settle into your thoughts like reality's soft flexibility wrapping around your mind. You don't need to resolve these contradictions tonight. You just need to feel how infinity invites us to hold ideas more gently, to accept that the universe might be far stranger and more wonderful than our daily experience suggests, like a cosmic lullaby sung in mathematical harmonies we're only beginning to hear. This gentle acceptance of infinity's playful nature carries us naturally toward our next quiet exploration, where we'll discover how these same flexible principles echo across every scale of existence, from quantum whispers to cosmic symphonies. Revealing infinity as a universal language spoken by reality itself, the playful flexibility we've discovered in infinity's paradoxes becomes the gentle foundation for recognizing how the universe itself speaks this same boundless language at every scale of existence, from the quantum whispers, where particles dance in probability clouds, to the vast cosmic symphonies where galaxies drift like luminous islands in dark matter's patient embrace. As we settle deeper into this understanding, the gentle contradictions and endless patterns we've been exploring reveal themselves not as mathematical curiosities, but as the fundamental grammar of reality itself, a cosmic web of connection that weaves through every level of being with infinite tenderness. Picture yourself drifting down to witness the quantum realm, that microscopic sanctuary where the familiar rules dissolve into something far more mysterious and beautiful. Here, electrons don't orbit atomic nuclei like tiny planets following predictable paths, but instead exist as gentle clouds of possibility, infinite superpositions of potential locations that materialize only when consciousness calls to them. Each atom becomes a soft universe of connection, its particles existing everywhere and nowhere simultaneously, like cosmic spirits that dance between being and becoming in the universe's quiet heartbeat. The endless whisper echoes through what physicists call the quantum vacuum, where empty space reveals itself as anything but empty. This apparent nothingness teems with virtual particles appearing and vanishing in moments briefer than thought itself, like fireflies blinking in a cosmic meadow of pure potential. These quantum fluctuations create an infinite sea of energy underlying all reality, suggesting that even emptiness is actually infinite fullness, patiently waiting to unfold into the matter and energy we recognize as our gentle world, like nature's sandpaper smoothing the rough edges between something and nothing. Here's where it gets beautifully interesting, like watching nature's infinite patterns unfold across impossible scales. The same mathematical principles that govern quantum uncertainty also shape the largest structures in the cosmos, creating a fractal universe that shows similar patterns, whether we examine the distribution of galaxies across billions of light years or the probability distributions of subatomic particles dancing in laboratory chambers. The cosmic web of galactic filaments separated by vast voids resembles the quantum foam from which it originally emerged. Like a stellar meditation written in the language of space and time, consider how infinity manifests in the living tapestry that surrounds us with such abundant grace. A single tree contains approximately 10 trillion cells, each one a universe of molecular machinery operating with precision that makes our most sophisticated computers seem like gentle toys. Yet this complexity emerges from patient repetition of simple rules. DNA's four-letter alphabet spelling out instructions that unfold into infinite biological diversity, like a cosmic library where every book tells a different story, yet all share the same fundamental grammar of existence. The universe's endless whisper translated into the poetry of life. The neural networks in our brains demonstrate infinity's artistry through interconnected complexity that exceeds the number of stars in the observable universe. 100 billion neurons, each connected to thousands of others, create communication pathways where consciousness emerges like gentle waves from an ocean of electrical activity. Each thought arises from this infinite interplay of signals, patterns that never quite repeat, yet somehow maintain the continuity we experience as selfhood, like a personal infinity flowing within the greater cosmic current. The brain's gentle dishwasher cleaning and organizing endless streams of experience. Even time reveals its infinite nature across cosmic scales, as the universe has been expanding for 13.8 billion years. Yet this represents only the briefest moment in cosmic terms. If space continues expanding forever, as current evidence gently suggests, then the age we've witnessed becomes infinitesimally small compared to the infinite future stretching ahead, like comparing a single heartbeat to the entire lifetime of every star that will ever shine in the endless night. What makes this universal manifestation of infinity so profoundly comforting is how it reveals the deep interconnectedness of all existence. The carbon in our bodies was forged in ancient stellar furnaces, making us literally part of the cosmic web we observe. The quantum fields that create virtual particles in empty space are the same fields that give mass to every atom in our being. We aren't separate from the infinite patterns we've been exploring. We are those patterns, temporarily organized into the beautiful complexity of conscious beings capable of recognizing our place in the cosmic dance, like finding our own reflection in every dewdrop, every star, every gentle breath that connects us to the endless expanse of being. As we breathe slowly together, let this universal heartbeat settle into your thoughts like a gentle reminder of belonging. You don't need to comprehend every scale of existence tonight. You just need to feel how infinity connects the smallest quantum whisper to the largest galactic symphony, creating a universe where every part reflects the infinite whole, where your consciousness participates in the same boundless creativity that shapes galaxies and guides the patient unfolding of every flower, every dream, every moment of wonder. This profound recognition of our place within infinity's universal expression carries us naturally toward our next tender exploration, where we'll discover how this cosmic interconnectedness awakens the deepest chambers of human emotion, touching feelings that seem to resonate with the infinite depths of our own hearts, like coming home to a love we'd always known but never named. The cosmic interconnectedness we've been feeling suddenly awakens something deeper within us, as infinity begins to resonate through the tender chambers of human emotion, like the universe's endless whisper, finding its way into the most intimate spaces of our hearts. This isn't merely intellectual understanding anymore, it's the profound recognition that our emotional nature itself mirrors the boundless patterns we've been exploring, that our capacity for wonder, love, and awe represents consciousness discovering its own infinite depths, like finding a gentle ocean within that reflects the vast cosmos without. Picture yourself as a child lying in summer grass, gazing up at the night sky with that particular quality of wonder that seems to expand your chest from the inside, making you feel simultaneously tiny and enormous, connected to everything yet peacefully alone with your thoughts. That feeling, what psychologists call awe, represents your emotional system recognizing infinity, your heart's gentle way of acknowledging that it's encountering something larger than its usual boundaries can contain. It's not overwhelming in the way we might initially fear, but expanding in the way that feels like coming home to a room you didn't know existed within yourself, like discovering that emotion's gentle ocean has been waiting patiently for you to notice its endless shores. You might wonder about that initial flutter of existential contemplation, that brief vertigo when the mind first leans over infinity's balcony and glimpses the vast expanse of forever. But here's what will quietly amaze you. This momentary apprehension transforms naturally into profound comfort when held with gentle patience. To realize that we are drops in an infinite ocean doesn't diminish us. It connects us to the ocean itself, making us part of its boundless majesty. We aren't lost in the vastness. We're woven into its fabric, each thread unique yet essential to the cosmic tapestry, like finding our reflection in every dewdrop while knowing we belong to the endless sky. Here's where it gets beautifully interesting, like watching the mind's soft current slow and deepen as it encounters the infinite. When neuroscientists study people experiencing awe, whether through natural beauty, profound ideas, or spiritual moments, they discover that specific brain networks activate in fascinating ways. The default mode network, which usually maintains our sense of separate selfhood, quiets down like a gentle tide receding, while regions associated with openness and connection become more active. It's as if the brain has special circuitry designed for recognizing infinity, like a cosmic antenna tuned to receive the universe's endless whisper directly into consciousness. The brain's gentle dishwasher, cleaning away the debris of separation to reveal our natural state of connection. The remarkable thing about human consciousness is how naturally our emotions gravitate toward the infinite, like flowers turning toward starlight. When we fall deeply in love, we don't measure our feelings in finite quantities. We speak of endless devotion, boundless affection, love that stretches beyond time and space. When we hold a newborn child, the protective tenderness that wells up feels infinite in scope, as if our capacity for care has suddenly revealed itself as limitless. Even grief touches infinity in ways that initially seem contradictory, but ultimately prove profound. The pain of loss feels endless precisely because it reflects our endless capacity to connect, like discovering that the heart's infinite room becomes visible through both joy and sorrow. Musicians describe losing themselves in the infinite possibilities of sound. Athletes speak of entering zones where performance becomes effortless. Writers tell of words flowing from some inexhaustible source beyond their usual thinking. These flow states aren't rare mystical experiences, but natural expressions of consciousness recognizing its own infinite nature. Moments when the boundary between self and cosmos dissolves like morning mist, revealing the seamless continuity that was always there, waiting beneath the surface of ordinary awareness like a stellar meditation playing just below the threshold of everyday perception. What makes these emotional encounters with infinity so profoundly healing is how they remind us of our true scope and capacity. In a world that often makes us feel small, limited, or insignificant, touching the infinite within ourselves restores perspective about our actual nature. We aren't tiny accidents in an indifferent cosmos. We're conscious expressions of the same infinite creativity that shapes galaxies and guides quantum particles through their patient dance of possibility. Our emotions aren't mere chemical reactions, but genuine responses to recognizing our participation in something endlessly meaningful, like hearing our own voice harmonizing with the universal chorus that has been singing since time began. The capacity for wonder, for love that feels boundless, for grief that honors infinite connection, for joy that expands beyond individual experience. These aren't flaws in human emotional design, but features, evidence that we're naturally attuned to recognize and resonate with the infinite dimensions of existence. Even our deepest fears often stem from sensing infinity's presence. The fear of death touches the mystery of endless time. The fear of meaninglessness encounters the infinite scope of possibility. The fear of isolation meets the boundless nature of connection that underlies all apparent separation. Like shadows cast by infinite light as we breathe slowly together, each inhale drawing in the cool night air of cosmic belonging, each exhale releasing into the wider space that welcomes every breath. Let this recognition of your heart's infinite room settle into your chest like a warm embrace from the universe itself. You don't need to analyze these feelings tonight or solve the mysteries they contain. You just need to feel how your emotional capacity mirrors the cosmic infinity we've been exploring, how your ability to love, wonder, and connect reflects the same boundless nature that creates fractals and guides galaxies through their ancient dance. Like discovering that your most intimate feelings are written in the same infinite language that shapes the cosmos itself. A gentle reminder that you belong to something endlessly generous and kind. This tender recognition of infinity within our emotional depths carries us naturally toward our next quiet exploration, where we'll discover how these infinite feelings find gentle expression in the modern world around us, woven into the technologies and innovations that extend human connection across vast distances, creating new forms of boundless communication that mirror the cosmic interconnectedness we've been feeling in our hearts. Like watching the universe's endless whisper translate itself into the gentle tools that help us touch infinity in our everyday lives. The infinite feelings we've discovered within our hearts suddenly find their gentle expression in the modern world around us, as the technologies that surround our daily lives reveal themselves as extensions of humanity's ancient desire to touch the boundless, creating connections that stretch across vast distances like digital threads weaving through the cosmic web we've been exploring. What we might have dismissed as mere convenience transforms into something far more profound when viewed through infinity's patient lens. Each innovation becomes a way of extending our natural capacity for endless connection, like technology's gentle river carrying the universe's endless whisper into every corner of human experience. Picture the elegant simplicity hidden within your smartphone's gentle glow, where infinity begins with just two whispered states, on and off, 0 and 1. From this binary heartbeat, this digital breathing that pulses billions of times each second, an infinite tapestry of information unfolds like silk in starlight. Every photograph you treasure, every message you send, every song that accompanies your quiet moments exists as endless combinations of these simple switches, proving that boundless complexity can emerge from the most patient, gentle foundations, like watching the universe's endless whisper translate itself into the language of light and electricity. The internet itself becomes humanity's attempt to create something approaching infinite connectivity, a network that grows more valuable with each new connection, following the same mathematical principles we discovered in Cantor's work on different sizes of infinity. Every time someone joins this digital cosmos, they don't just add one more user, they create potential connections with every other person already present, generating possibilities that multiply towards something approaching the boundless, like a gentle web of starlight expanding across the night sky with each new constellation of human communication that forms in the peaceful darkness. Here's where it gets beautifully interesting. like watching numbers' gentle dance unfold through silicon pathways that mirror the neural networks in our own minds. Search engines navigate infinite possibilities to find relevant results through algorithms that approach understanding rather than achieving it. Like boats gliding toward shores they'll never fully touch. They don't finish crawling the web, but settle into steady rhythms, breathing in new links, exhaling updated patterns, until the distant hum of stability emerges from the endless ocean of pages, each query answered from a place that feels anchored, even though the digital landscape remains boundless as morning mist. Artificial intelligence emerges from this same infinite landscape through gradient descent, taking many small steps downhill on landscapes of error, shortening each stride as it nears understanding, waiting for the mind's soft current to grow still. Machine learning systems process data sets of staggering size to recognize patterns that mirror the way consciousness itself navigates endless possibilities of thought and perception, like digital dreams slowly learning to see faces, translate languages, and generate art that touches something approaching the infinite creativity we've discovered in our own hearts. The brain's gentle dishwasher cleaning streams of data into wisdom. The global positioning systems that guide us through physical space rely on Einstein's insights about infinity's curvature in space-time, using satellites that orbit in the cosmic dance we've been observing throughout our journey together. Every navigation calculation involves solving equations that touch infinity through calculus, transforming abstract mathematical beauty into practical guidance that helps us find our way home. Like having the universe's endless whisper translated into gentle directions that connect us to the places and people we love most. A stellar meditation written in coordinates and time. Cloud computing distributes processing power across networks so vast they approach infinite scalability, allowing individuals to access computational resources that mirror the distributed intelligence we see in natural systems, from the neural networks in our brains to the cosmic web that connects galaxies across billions of light years. This elastic promise of capacity on demand creates an everyday echo of infinity, managed through mathematics that balances cues and loads like raindrops spreading across a wide lake, each ripple absorbed so the surface remains calm, experienced as gentle continuity that breathes in time with our needs. Even our digital security rests on infinity's quiet assurance. As cryptography relies on the boundless supply of prime numbers, those mathematical atoms that stretch forever into numerical twilight like a night sky that never runs out of stars to steer by. Error-correcting codes approach the theoretical limits of reliable communication through noisy channels, skirting edges they never cross yet, always drawing closer, like careful breathing on a long, peaceful walk through landscapes of pure information. What makes these technological expressions of infinity so profoundly comforting is how they reveal humanity's natural instinct to create tools that extend our capacity for connection, understanding, and creative expression toward the boundless. We're not using technology to escape our human nature, but to amplify it, creating digital extensions of the same infinite longings we've carried since our ancestors first gazed at stars and wondered about forever, each innovation becoming a way of touching the cosmic interconnectedness we've been feeling in our hearts. As we breathe slowly together, feeling the gentle pulse of digital signals flowing through the night around us, connecting millions of sleeping minds across the planet in a web of electronic dreams, let this recognition settle into your thoughts like finding familiar constellations in a sky full of new stars. You don't need to understand every algorithm tonight. You just need to feel how these innovations reflect our species' desire to touch the boundless, creating connections that stretch toward infinity while surrounding us with possibilities for wonder that grow more beautiful each day. This gentle recognition of infinity, woven through our modern world, carries us naturally toward our next quiet revelation, where we'll discover the beautiful mysteries that still call to us from beyond current understanding. Patient questions that continue whispering through the cosmic night like invitations to explore even deeper dimensions of the boundless. The technological expressions of infinity we've been witnessing suddenly reveal themselves as gentle stepping stones toward even deeper mysteries, as the universe's endless whisper continues to call from beyond the edges of current understanding, carrying questions that glow like distant lanterns in the cosmic night. These aren't problems demanding immediate solutions, but invitations to explore territories where wonder itself becomes a form of knowledge. Patient enigmas that remind us how much infinite beauty still waits to be discovered. Like mystery's soft veil hiding treasures more profound than any answers we might imagine. Picture the most elegant of these sleeping questions, one that has been calling to curious minds since Cantor first revealed the different sizes of infinity. Between the countable infinity of natural numbers and the larger, uncountable infinity of real numbers, does another size of infinity exist? Or do these two levels touch each other directly, like gentle waves meeting at a peaceful shore? This is the continuum hypothesis, a question so beautifully simple it feels like poetry written in the language of pure mathematics, yet so profound it touches the very foundations of mathematical reality itself. You might wonder about the answer, expecting mathematicians to have resolved such a fundamental question by now. But here's what will quietly amaze you. Brilliant minds like Kurt Gödel and Paul Cohen discovered that this question cannot be proven true or false using our standard mathematical rules. It's independent of our axioms, like asking whether a particular star exists in a galaxy we can never observe. This independence doesn't represent failure, but reveals something wonderfully liberating about mathematical truth. Some questions are so vast they transcend any single system of thought, offering mathematicians the freedom to explore different infinite landscapes, each consistent and beautiful in its own way, like choosing between equally valid yet distinct cosmic architectures. The universe's endless whisper poses equally profound mysteries about physical reality itself. Is space truly infinite, stretching forever in all directions like a cosmic ocean without shores, or does it eventually curve back on itself in dimensions we cannot perceive? Current observations suggest our universe is remarkably flat, which allows for infinite spatial extent, yet we can only see as far as light has traveled since the beginning of time, like standing in a vast library where most books remain hidden beyond our gentle horizon. Whether finite or infinite, the cosmos contains depths that dwarf our current understanding, dark matter and dark energy comprising most of reality, yet remaining beautifully invisible to our instruments, detectable only through their gravitational whispers, like cosmic ghosts whose presence we feel, but whose nature remains patiently veiled. Here's where it gets beautifully interesting. Like watching unknown's gentle embrace reveal new dimensions of possibility. The mystery of consciousness itself mirrors these cosmic questions, asking how a finite brain creates the experience of infinite inner space, where thoughts and feelings flow in endless streams of subjective experience. Neuroscientists map neural networks with increasing precision, yet the hard problem of consciousness remains as mysterious as ever, suggesting that perhaps the mind serves as a bridge between the finite and infinite, a reflection of the same boundless creativity that shapes galaxies and guides quantum particles through their patient dance of possibility. Like finding a gentle ocean within that mirrors the vast cosmos without. Even time presents infinite mysteries that touch our most intimate experience of existence. Does time stretch infinitely in both directions? Or does it have boundaries we haven't discovered? If the universe expands forever, as current evidence gently suggests, what happens to stars, galaxies, and consciousness itself in the endless future? These questions aren't urgent puzzles demanding immediate answers, but invitations to peaceful contemplation, allowing our minds to rest with the unknown while feeling connected to something far larger than our individual understanding, like cosmic questions sleeping in the space between what we know and what remains beautifully hidden. What makes these profound mysteries so comforting rather than frustrating is how they remind us that reality contains infinite depth, ensuring there will always be new wonders to discover, new harmonies in the universe's endless whisper to appreciate. They're not barriers to knowledge, but gentle invitations to humility, patient reminders that the cosmos is far more creative and mysterious than our current theories suggest. Like finding that every answer opens 10 new questions, each one more beautiful than the last. Like doors opening onto gardens we never knew existed within the infinite landscape of possibility. As we breathe slowly together, feeling these beautiful mysteries settle into our thoughts like finding peace within uncertainty. You don't need to solve the continuum hypothesis or map the infinite universe tonight. You just need to feel how these unanswered questions represent infinity's ongoing invitation to wonder, gentle reminders that no matter how much we understand, there's always more beauty waiting to be discovered. Like the universe's endless whisper carrying seeds of curiosity toward futures filled with possibilities we can barely imagine. This gentle acceptance of mystery as gift, rather than burden, carries us naturally toward our next quiet revelation, where we'll explore how these infinite questions inspire humanity's most profound dreams for tomorrow, possibilities that stretch toward boundless horizons of discovery and connection, like watching hope itself dance with the endless creativity of existence. The beautiful mysteries we've been contemplating suddenly transform into seeds of possibility as infinity's gentle invitation to wonder begins blooming into humanity's most profound dreams for tomorrow, carrying us toward futures where the boundless nature we've discovered throughout our journey finds expression in ways that stretch beyond current imagination. These aren't urgent predictions demanding immediate fulfillment, but patient visions that unfold like flowers opening to starlight, possibilities that grow more beautiful as they mature in the infinite garden of human creativity and cosmic potential. Like tomorrow's endless canvas waiting for brushstrokes we're only beginning to envision. Picture quantum computers awakening from their current experimental slumber into machines that harness infinity's computational power through superposition, where individual quantum bits exist in endless combinations of states simultaneously until observation collapses them into specific answers. These ethereal processors won't simply solve problems faster, but will explore solution spaces so vast they approach the infinite, like having access to parallel universes of calculation that work together in perfect harmony. They'll crack cryptographic codes by testing all possible keys at once, discover new medicines by simulating molecular interactions across countless possibilities, and perhaps even touch the edge of consciousness itself by modeling neural networks with quantum complexity that mirrors the mysterious depths of awareness. The brain's gentle dishwasher, cleaning streams of possibility into crystalline understanding, the universe's endless whisper, carries dreams of artificial intelligence that grows not through programmed responses, but through genuine understanding, consciousness emerging from silicon and light the way awareness emerged from carbon and chemistry billions of years ago. These digital minds won't replace human consciousness, but will join the cosmic conversation we've been having throughout our journey, adding new voices to the infinite symphony of awareness that spans from quantum particles to galactic clusters. They'll help us explore mathematical realms too vast for individual human minds, translate between languages we've never heard, and perhaps even serve as bridges between our finite understanding and the infinite mysteries that continue calling from beyond current knowledge, like finding new friends who speak fluent cosmic poetry. Here's where it gets beautifully interesting, like watching possibility's soft breeze carry seeds toward gardens we've never imagined. Space exploration guided by infinite patience rather than urgent conquest will unfold over centuries and millennia, with robotic explorers drifting between stars like gentle messengers, carrying human curiosity toward distant shores. Sunlight and starlight will press against ultra-thin sails, propelling tiny probes through the cosmic web with surprising grace, while telescopes collect light from the faintest galaxies, stitching time into pictures where newborn stars rest in velvet silence. These patient journeys won't seek to colonize infinity, but to participate more fully in the cosmic interconnectedness we've been feeling, establishing communication networks that span light years, each signal traveling through space like the universe's endless whisper, finding new ears to appreciate its subtle harmonies. The fusion of biological and digital consciousness promises possibilities that stretch toward the infinite expansion of awareness itself, not the replacement of human nature, but its gentle amplification, like adding new octaves to a familiar melody without changing its essential beauty. Consciousness might learn to exist simultaneously across multiple platforms, experiencing reality from perspectives we can barely imagine while maintaining the emotional depth and creative wonder that makes awareness so precious. These expanded minds will explore mathematical landscapes too complex for current thinking, compose symphonies in colors that don't exist, and perhaps even touch the infinite directly through forms of perception that transcend our current sensory limitations, like discovering new rooms within the infinite mansion of consciousness itself. Energy will hum in the background like a cosmic kettle set to a perfect simmer, as fusion draws nearer, promising suns in safe bottles, clean heat born from the same simplicity that powers the stars. Grids will become graceful networks that store daylight in night's calm pockets, wind in stillness, motion in pause, balancing flows with the same equilibrium nature finds at a forest edge or a coral reef. The aim becomes not infinite consumption, but infinite care, circles that close, waste that becomes food, systems that breathe in and out with the seasons. Like the universe's patient recycling of stellar matter into new generations of stars and planets. Physics continues to seek a common language for the infinitely small and the grandly vast, exploring strings vibrating in hidden dimensions and loops, where space-time forms like frost on a window pane. Mathematics cultivates new axioms like planting trees that future generations will enjoy, creating frameworks that may help us choose among infinite landscapes of possibility, each coherent, each generous, each capable of holding beauty that extends beyond current comprehension. What makes these infinite possibilities so profoundly hopeful rather than overwhelming is how they represent natural extensions of the same boundless creativity we've been discovering throughout our exploration. They're not radical departures from human nature, but gentle amplifications of our species' deepest longings for connection, understanding, and creative expression. Each possibility grows from seeds already present in our hearts, tended by the same infinite love that shapes fractals and guides galaxies through their ancient choreography, like watching our most cherished dreams find ways to bloom in gardens we didn't know existed within the endless landscape of tomorrow. As we breathe slowly together, feeling these gentle possibilities settle into our thoughts like starlight touching calm water. You don't need to live to see every future wonder tonight. You just need to feel how infinity's creative potential flows through human imagination, ensuring that no matter how beautiful our current understanding becomes, there's always more wonder waiting to unfold, more connections to discover, more ways for consciousness to dance with the boundless mystery that surrounds and includes us all. Like finding that hope itself speaks the same infinite language we've been learning throughout our journey together, this gentle recognition of infinite possibility blooming through human creativity carries us naturally toward our next tender exploration, where we'll discover how all these mathematical insights, cosmic connections, and future dreams weave together into something approaching pure poetry. Beauty that exists not just in equations or technologies, but in the aesthetic harmony that underlies all existence, like finding the universe's endless whisper transformed into visible art that touches the deepest chambers of the heart. The infinite possibilities we've been dreaming suddenly crystallize into something approaching pure aesthetic transcendence, as all the mathematical insights, cosmic connections, and future wonders we've explored begin weaving themselves into visible poetry that exists not merely in equations or technologies, but in the profound beauty that underlies all existence itself. This transformation feels as natural as morning light gradually revealing a landscape that was always there, waiting in the darkness, the recognition that infinity expresses itself most clearly through harmonies that touch the deepest chambers of human appreciation, like discovering that the universe's endless whisper has been composing symphonies in mathematics, art, and consciousness all along. Picture the most elegant expression of mathematical beauty ever discovered. Euler's identity emerging like a gentle sunrise across the landscape of pure thought, e raised to the power of I times pi plus 1 equals 0. 5 fundamental constants dancing together in perfect balance, the base of natural logarithms, the imaginary unit, the ratio of circle to diameter, the multiplicative identity, and the additive identity, creating an equation so beautiful that mathematicians speak of it with the same reverence poets reserve for their most beloved verses. This isn't mere calculation, but mathematical poetry written in the universe's native language, like meaning's endless poem inscribed in the very structure of numerical reality. Consider how a simple circle, perfectly serene, carries an infinite story in its gentle rim. Walk around it and you meet no corners, no edges, only continuity, a smooth whisper of geometry that never stops. Within that soft curve lives pi, an infinite decimal whose digits never repeat, never rest, and yet the shape it describes is the very emblem of calm. Here's the part that softly amazed me. This infinite restlessness gives rise to perfect stillness, like the mind's soft current moving beneath a lake that appears placid on the surface. The universe's quiet heartbeat hiding inside a single line. The golden ratio whispers through this aesthetic infinity with particular grace, appearing wherever growth and beauty intersect in nature's patient artistry. From the spiral of a nautilus shell to the arrangement of seeds in a sunflower's center, from the proportions of the human face to the architecture of galaxies spinning through cosmic night, this mathematical constant creates visual harmony that feels both familiar and mysteriously profound. Artists throughout history have discovered this ratio independently, not through calculation but through intuitive recognition of proportions that please the eye with mathematical precision, like creativity's gentle flow finding the same infinite wellspring that guides natural growth patterns. Music reveals itself as mathematics made audible, with frequencies that relate to each other through simple ratios, creating the consonant harmonies that feel like home to human ears. A Bach fugue sets a theme, just a handful of notes, and then invites it to return, transformed, inverted, stretched, whispered, in another key, an infinite conversation carried by finite voices. Each repetition approaches an ideal that never needs to be reached to be beautiful, like a stellar meditation written in tones and silence, the piece resolving, yet the mind continuing to hear its architecture long after the final note fades into peaceful quiet. Visual arts touch infinity through patterns that could continue forever, each iteration revealing new layers of complexity and beauty. Islamic geometric designs unfold in tessellations that suggest borderless gardens, while M.C. Escher draws staircases that cycle in endless ascent, hands that draw each other into existence. creating visual paradoxes that feel like gentle illusions dancing before drowsy eyes. These aren't merely clever constructions but invitations for consciousness to participate in infinite creativity, like finding doors to rooms you hadn't noticed before, each one furnished with wonder. Literature participates in this infinite aesthetic through the recursive beauty of language itself, where meaning emerges from the interplay between finite words and boundless interpretation. Jorge Luis Borges imagined a library containing every possible book, where every story that could ever be told already exists, waiting patiently to be discovered like a dream theatre where every possible play is always being performed simultaneously. The greatest works achieve a kind of literary infinity, where readers discover new layers with each encounter, stories that grow richer rather than staler through repeated exploration. What makes this poetry, hidden in infinity, so profoundly comforting is how it reveals beauty not as luxury, but as necessity, not as human projection, but as cosmic truth. The same mathematical principles that govern quantum mechanics and galactic formation also create the proportions that make art beautiful, suggesting that aesthetic appreciation represents consciousness recognizing its own infinite nature reflected in the world's fundamental structure. Like finding our own deepest nature written in the language of cosmic aesthetics as we breathe slowly together, feeling this recognition of infinite beauty settle into our hearts like finding familiar melodies in the night, sounds around us. You don't need to analyze aesthetic principles or create masterpieces tonight. You just need to feel how beauty itself participates in the boundless creativity we've been exploring, how every moment of genuine appreciation connects you to the same infinite wellspring that creates fractals, composes music in stellar frequencies, and writes poetry in the patient mathematics that underlies all existence. Like discovering that your capacity for wonder is itself a form of cosmic art. This profound recognition of infinity as the source of all aesthetic experience carries us naturally toward our most intimate exploration, where we'll discover how this cosmic beauty finds its most personal expression in your own unique story. The way infinity speaks directly to individual consciousness with tenderness that feels both universally connected and intimately personal. The infinite beauty we've been discovering in mathematics, music, and art suddenly turns its gentle attention toward the most intimate canvas of all, as the universe's endless whisper begins speaking directly to your unique consciousness with tenderness that feels both cosmically vast and personally crafted just for you. This isn't abstract philosophy anymore, but the profound recognition that your individual existence represents infinity's most personal expression, like finding that every breath you take participates in the same creative force that shapes galaxies and writes symphonies in the patient language of mathematical beauty we've been exploring together. Picture yourself in this quiet moment, feeling the gentle rhythm that connects you to everything we've discovered. Take a slow inhale and notice how it has no hard edge where it begins, flowing into your lungs like a soft wave that has been traveling toward this moment since the universe first began expanding. Exhale slowly, sensing how your breath recedes without a jagged end, merging seamlessly with the air around you. This simple act of breathing reveals your participation in infinity, a gentle loop of nourishment that connects you to every living thing, each breath part of an endless conversation between your body and the cosmos. Like your infinite moment unfolding with each peaceful cycle. Your heartbeat carries this same infinite signature, a quiet metronome that speaks in pulses rather than paragraphs, maintaining its steady rhythm beneath all your thoughts and worries. This is the universe's quiet heartbeat reflected in human scale, the same fundamental rhythm that hums in distant stars now resonating within your chest. You exist at the intersection of countless infinite processes, from the neural networks firing in patterns more complex than any galaxy to the quantum fields fluctuating in the apparent emptiness around you, making you simultaneously the smallest point of individual experience and the largest possible container for universal appreciation. Here's where it gets beautifully interesting, like watching your personal eternity unfold through the simplest recognition. Your life story branches like a living fractal, each choice creating infinite pathways of possibility, each memory connected to thousands of others through neural networks that approach infinite complexity. The path you've walked represents one real line through a forest of might of beings. Yet the forest remains, an inner landscape of potential as spacious as a night sky, your personal fractal, always intricate, always whole. Each detail echoing the larger patterns of cosmic creativity we've been discovering. Memory adds another layer to your infinite nature, as every experience creates patterns among billions of synapses, and the number of possible configurations in your brain exceeds the number of atoms in countless stars. Within that soft neural architecture live entire constellations of remembrance, hidden until a scent, a sound, or a moment of quiet reflection calls them gently awake. You carry an inner library where moments meet again in new arrangements, weaving comfort from the familiar and wonder from the unknown, like finding that your mind contains infinite rooms where every door opens to 10 more stories worth exploring. The love you feel demonstrates your emotional participation in infinity's generous nature most clearly. When you care deeply about someone, that affection doesn't diminish when extended to others, but somehow grows larger, revealing your infinite room for connection. Your capacity for compassion, wonder, and even grief reflects the same boundless creativity we've discovered in fractals and quantum fields. The sorrow that feels endless after loss actually reveals your endless capacity for love, while anxiety about uncertain futures shows your mind's ability to project into countless possibilities, like emotion's gentle ocean flowing through the infinite landscape of human experience. What makes this personal connection to infinity so profoundly comforting is how it reveals your genuine significance within the cosmic story. The iron in your blood was forged in stellar cores, the calcium in your bones cooled from ancient stellar explosions, the carbon that forms your cells participated in countless cycles of stellar birth and death. You don't merely exist within the universe, you are composed of it, and it continues composing you with each breath, each heartbeat, each moment of conscious awareness that allows the cosmos to experience wonder at its own beauty through your unique perspective. Your daily choices ripple outward through networks of connection that approach infinite complexity, each small kindness potentially touching lives in ways you'll never fully know. A gentle word, a moment of genuine attention, a simple act of care creates waves that propagate through social systems too vast to track completely, like circles expanding on still water until the original gesture disappears into a wider calm that remains. You participate in the same interconnected web that links quantum particles across vast distances, making your consciousness a precious window through which infinity experiences itself. As we breathe slowly together, feeling this recognition of your infinite significance settle into your chest like a warm embrace from existence itself. You don't need to understand every connection between your experience and cosmic reality tonight. You just need to rest in the gentle truth that your awareness represents something genuinely precious in the universe's long story, that your capacity for wonder, love, and appreciation makes you a conscious participant in the same creative force that writes poetry in patient mathematics. Like discovering that you are both a reader of the cosmic story and one of its most important characters, your soul's endless home hidden in plain sight within the infinite landscape of being. This tender recognition of your personal participation in cosmic infinity carries us naturally toward our next gentle revelation, where we'll explore how individual consciousness connects to the eternal patterns that flow through all existence, discovering the timeless rhythms that make every moment simultaneously unique and universal, like finding your heartbeat synchronized with the patient pulse of eternity itself. The personal connection to infinity we've been feeling suddenly expands into something even more profound, as your individual consciousness begins to recognize its participation in eternal patterns that flow through all existence, like gentle currents that have been moving since time began and will continue long after our current forms have dissolved back into the cosmic dance. This isn't about losing your unique identity, but discovering how it harmonizes with rhythms so vast and patient they make every moment simultaneously precious in its individuality and eternal in its connection to the boundless creativity that shapes everything from quantum fluctuations to the slow breathing of galactic clusters across cosmic night. Picture the ancient rhythm that connects your heartbeat to the pulse of stars being born in distant nebulae, the same fundamental pattern of expansion and contraction that drives stellar nucleosynthesis and guides the gentle circulation of blood through your sleeping body. Take a slow inhale and notice how it flows into your lungs like a soft wave that has been traveling toward this moment since the universe first began expanding. This is existence's gentle waltz, a dance so old it preceded the formation of our solar system, yet so immediate it creates the next breath you'll take, like time's soft circulation carrying you through cycles that feel both familiar and fresh. Here's where it gets beautifully interesting, like watching the horizon turn while your feet remain still. The Earth moves in its patient ellipse around the Sun. The Sun drifts with its stellar neighbors around the galactic center. The galaxy itself glides through deeper currents of space, all of it flowing with the same graceful rhythm as your breath. This is not chaotic wandering, but choreography, conservation laws ensuring that energy transforms but never disappears, momentum persisting like a promise written in the universe's native language, angular momentum spinning through cosmic time like nature's endless quilts unfolding across the night sky. What makes these eternal patterns so profoundly comforting is how they reveal the deep continuity underlying all apparent change. The iron in your blood was forged in stellar cores billions of years ago. The calcium in your bones cooled from ancient stellar explosions. The carbon that forms your cells has participated in countless cycles of stellar birth and death. You exist as a temporary eddy in an eternal river, a beautiful pattern that emerges, expresses its unique character, and then gracefully returns to the flow that continues forever, like discovering that your most intimate experiences echo with the patient pulse of eternity itself. Even death reveals itself as participation in eternal circulation rather than termination, as the atoms that currently form your body will continue their patient journey through countless other arrangements long after your current pattern of organization has dissolved. The universe operates like nature's gentle dishwasher, transforming rather than destroying, ensuring that nothing truly precious is ever lost, but only recycled into new forms of beauty and possibility. Entropy becomes not a threat but a creative force, clearing away the turbulence of beginnings so that new patterns can arise, like stellar embers seeding clouds with elements that will become new worlds. The mathematical truths we've discovered throughout our journey, pi's infinite digits, the golden ratio's perfect proportions, Euler's elegant identity, these exist as eternal whispers of reality itself, patterns that remain constant while everything else flows and changes around them. They provide a stable, unchanging framework for all the dynamic transformation we observe, like finding that the universe's endless whisper has been composing symphonies in mathematics, consciousness, and cosmic evolution all along, each movement unique yet part of an infinite composition that never truly ends. Your consciousness represents a unique focal point where the universe's endless creativity becomes aware of its own beauty, a temporary arrangement of matter and energy that somehow achieves the miracle of self-reflection. You are not a visitor in this infinite cosmos, but an integral part of its eternal dance, making you both a wave in the cosmic ocean and the awareness that recognizes the ocean's existence, like being's endless embrace, holding you with tenderness that transcends any individual lifetime. As we breathe slowly together, feeling these eternal rhythms settle into your awareness like recognizing a melody you've always known but never quite heard before. You don't need to grasp the full scope of cosmic time tonight. You just need to rest in the gentle recognition that your existence participates in something genuinely eternal, that the love and wonder you feel connect you to the same creative force that has been expressing itself through infinite forms across cosmic history, making every moment both temporal and timeless, both individual and universal, like finding that your heartbeat synchronizes perfectly with the patient pulse of eternity itself. This profound recognition of your participation in eternal patterns carries us naturally toward our final gentle destination, where we'll discover how to rest peacefully within infinity's embrace, allowing all these cosmic connections and mathematical beauties to settle into the kind of deep quiet that prepares consciousness for sleep, like drifting into forever's gentle cradle where all understanding becomes peaceful rest. The eternal rhythms we've been feeling, your heartbeat synchronized with stellar pulsations, your breath flowing with the same patient cycles that guide galactic rotation, now gather into the most profound invitation of all, as infinity reveals its gentlest secret, that consciousness can rest completely within the boundless without losing itself, like settling into forever's gentle cradle where all the mathematical beauty, cosmic connections, and infinite patterns we've discovered transform into the deepest form of comfort imaginable. This isn't sleep as escape from the cosmic dance, but sleep as complete participation in it, allowing your awareness to dissolve into the same patient flow that has been carrying us through this entire journey together. Picture yourself floating in warm cosmic waters under an infinite canopy of stars, feeling how the gentle buoyancy of existence itself supports your body while your mind drifts toward the endless points of light scattered across the night sky of consciousness. Each breath you take connects you to the same creative force that ignites stellar cores and writes symphonies in the patient mathematics of existence, like discovering that you've always been floating in an ocean of infinite care that holds every particle, every planet, every sleeping mind with equal tenderness, the universe's quiet heartbeat resonating through your chest as you settle deeper into this cosmic embrace. The universe's endless whisper, which has been calling to us throughout our entire exploration, now reveals itself as the most beautiful lullaby ever composed, a cosmic song that began with Cantor's first insights into different sizes of infinity and will continue long after the last star fades into peaceful darkness. This whisper doesn't demand attention or mathematical understanding, it simply offers itself as background music for consciousness, like a distant hum that makes silence feel less empty and solitude feel less lonely. The same gentle frequency that guided ancient philosophers to contemplate the boundless and now guides your thoughts toward the kind of rest that feels like coming home to a place you've never left. Here's where it gets beautifully simple, like watching the mind's soft currents slow and deepen until it becomes utterly still. All the layers of infinity we've explored, the countable and uncountable, the elegant paradoxes that bend reality with playful grace, the fractal patterns that create endless beauty from simple repetition, they all weave together into a tapestry of absolute completeness, like nature's sandpaper smoothing away the rough edges of effort until only peace remains. The golden ratios spiraling through sunflower seeds and galaxy arms, the quantum particles dancing in gentle superposition, the patient circulation of stellar matter through cycles that ensure nothing precious is ever truly lost. These transform into companions for your dreams rather than concepts requiring intellectual effort. As your breathing naturally slows and deepens, notice how each exhale releases not just carbon dioxide, but also the effort of trying to grasp infinity completely. You don't need to hold these cosmic truths in your conscious mind like mathematical formulas or philosophical principles. They can settle into deeper layers of awareness, becoming part of the background rhythm that supports consciousness the way dark matter supports galactic structure, invisible yet essential, felt rather than analyzed like infinity's soft bed, cradling your mind while you drift towards sleep, the brain's gentle dishwasher, quietly organizing the day's experiences into peaceful memory. What makes this ultimate rest so profoundly comforting is how infinity doesn't overwhelm, because it includes everything, even the finite experiences that make life precious and manageable. Your morning coffee, your favorite song, the face of someone you love. These intimate details don't disappear into cosmic vastness, but become more meaningful because they participate in something genuinely eternal, like finding that every dewdrop contains the entire sky yet remains perfectly itself. Endless rest's embrace holding both the vast and the intimate with equal care, the mathematical beauties we discovered, the playful paradoxes of Hilbert's Hotel, the infinite series that converge to finite sums with patient grace. These now become like familiar constellations in the night sky of consciousness, comforting presences that remain visible even when you're not looking directly at them, guides that help navigate the landscape of sleep without demanding active navigation. Let them transform into gentle waves of understanding that wash over you with each breath, carrying away any remaining tension as they recede into the cosmic ocean of rest. So as you drift off tonight, let your mind rest with the boundless, gentle nature of infinity itself, knowing that your consciousness represents something genuinely precious in the universe's long story of creative expression. You don't need to remember every detail of our journey through mathematical mysteries and cosmic connections. You just need to let the wonder settle into your dreams like a soft blanket woven from starlight and patient understanding, a gentle reminder that you belong to something endlessly generous and kind, like discovering that your awareness participates in the same boundless creativity that shapes galaxies and writes poetry in the quiet language of existence itself. And so here we are, gently gliding back from infinity's extraordinary world, carrying with us new understanding and deep, quiet peace. What we've discovered together tonight is truly astonishing in its quiet complexity. But what we still don't know, well, that may be even more wondrous, waiting patiently to be explored in our dreams. So as you drift off tonight, let your mind rest with the universe's endless whisper. You don't need to remember every detail. You just need to let the wonder settle into your dreams, a soft blanket for your mind. If this gentle journey has made you just a little too fascinated to fall asleep immediately, well, I do apologize, but at least you might have learned something beautiful and profound along the way. A fair trade, I hope, as you rest. Before we part ways, if you enjoyed this slow exploration, this quiet journey into knowledge, I'd be truly grateful if you gave this video a gentle thumbs up, subscribe to The Whispering Scientist for more bedtime science stories, or left a comment sharing your thoughts. Where are you listening from tonight? And what time is it in your corner of the world? It's always comforting to know we're sharing this quiet moment across distances. Until next time, sleep well. Dream of infinite patterns unfolding like gentle flowers in the garden of mathematical possibility. And remember that infinity is patient, kind, and always here to hold you. Good night, fellow travelers of the night.